You're listening to littlepodcast.com.
I was like, wait, what Ninja Turtles were you reading?
Freudian slip. We'll be in the desert. They'll be on a glass sheet.
Oh, fair enough. That's
or
true.
a mirror.
Speaking of coming out of the dark shadows.
This is a man who does not look good with a mustache.
I can't even think of the way he would look with a mustache. Welcome to Saturday Night Bite, episode number 7. I'm your host, John, joined by my co-host, John Danger Rowe. Of course,
John Danger Rowe.
The full name.
Sorry to have to clear my voice now.
Wow,
We had
what
all
the
this
fuck, man?
preparation.
God
and
damn
now
it.
I've
This is highly,
waited right until you introduced me.
highly unprofessional, Lance. Let me clear my throat.
Lance Kilcoin over here.
Thank you. Are you happy with that intro? You know, we play it loose.
Yeah,
We're not trying to be some professional.
You can't edit a podcast. I'm sorry.
You can, but it has to be like putting it.
I think it's just an awkward
in
cut
order.
where Adam Carolla said something racist, and they take 10 minutes out of the cut, and then it's
Yeah,
like,
because he spends 10 minutes trying to explain why it's not racist,
and then they talk about
and he's
cars.
just digging that hole deeper and deeper.
Yeah, and then the producer says, "No, Adam, it's enough."
Yeah. No, he's I used to listen to that show every single
So
day.
bad.
And because
Who would care about his opinions of things?
I'll tell you why. Because it was 2009, and there weren't very many podcasts that existed. So it was like, oh, Adam Carolla does a daily podcast. I'm at work. I need shit to listen to. Let's put that on. And then after like a while, I was like, it's got some really bad opinions. He's kind of full of himself here. And
There are three personalities in the realm of comedy hosting that I think are awful.
Okay.
He's one of them.
Okay.
The other one would be Jon Stewart, who I recently heard a 20-minute segment on Howard Stern, and Howard's trying to keep him on point and be like, let's move this along. The question was about Louis C.K. and his thing. Mm-hmm. Jon Stewart literally got so dull, he started to talk about what the internet does to opinions and ideas, and then it comes back, and then it's and it's just like, look, we're talking about Louis C.K. jacking off. Can you wrap it up or something?
Yeah.
And Jon Stewart's...
That's what the women were saying to Louis C.K.
Well, nobody jacks off with a condom.
No,
It's
I meant
ridiculous.
like, can you finish, please? I'm tired of looking at your wrinkled old man dick.
But the fucking... Jon Stewart is such a self-important bore now. He's so boring.
Well, he's not a host, though. You said you don't like them as a host.
Well, he used to be.
Well, he wasn't like that
He
when he was
followed
a
the
host.
trajectory of all the unfunny, like the funny satire, political satirists who end up being not comedians anymore because they aren't funny anymore.
Okay.
And they started with Dennis
So
Miller,
kids.
and then you went to Al Franken, and then you went to Jon Stewart now, who
It's
is
the goat.
officially unfunny. And he is so unfunny, he actually refers to himself as not being part of the comedy business anymore.
Yeah.
He
makes documentary films now.
Yeah, how do you stop being funny?
Well, he had jokes written
What
for him.
happened to him?
I don't know. He doesn't want to be on all the time.
He got so jaded, he became like a shell.
He's got those goats to feed.
What the fuck?
He's like a fucking a rescue farm.
And not only is he not funny, he's boring. And then the other one's Jimmy Kimmel, who is awful. He's an awful, awful host. And I cannot stand that show.
I've never seen it.
Well,
I watched The Man Show.
So good that it's been on for 15 years and you've not bothered to check in one time.
I don't even watch Conan, though, now. Like, that late night show format doesn't really do it for me now.
Conan used to be good.
I think he's still okay, but the thing is that the show is just like, I don't really care to watch someone do a puff interview with a celebrity. Like the Conan bits.
Like the era is over.
Yeah, well,
for that.
like I'll watch Conan. I think we've talked about this on the podcast. It's like I'd watch Conan go, hey, let's have Conan go walk around with the fucking film crew and him go to Chinatown, look at all sorts of weird stuff and be a goofball. That's hilarious.
You made that sound awesome, and I kind of want to see that.
Those exist because he's done that for his show.
I would actually watch that.
But that's like the first 20 minutes of the show is like they go and do like a little thing or he'll.
And Conan's like really phony though when he does the interviews. That's the main.
He's
problem.
never been the best interview. Like
he does that fake laugh, and he's like, Very good. It's like, I can't watch this.
The thing with the Conan interview is that I think he's a really funny guy. Obviously, comedy writer, like alum, written The Simpsons, and I think he wrote for SNL too. So like he's
briefly
got,
both. I mean, he was a rising star.
He was a big
He was not
writer.
being kept anywhere very long because of his talent level.
Yeah. Well, he was
constantly moving up.
He was a big writer on The Simpsons. I mean, he wrote a lot of classic episodes, and then
he wrote a few. I mean, he was part of a room. He what he spent a year and a half in The Simpsons. Like
2 years.
Didn't spend a lot of time there.
He spent 2 or 3 years. He was in seasons 4, 5, and 6.
All right. Well, you learned the business there.
Yeah,
and then
he was great.
Goes to SNL for a hot minute, and then he goes straight into late night.
Oh yeah,
he was barely at SNL.
Yeah,
barely did anything.
Because they knew he's a personable guy. He's funny. He's good with guests.
Like Rob Schneider's sitting there saying, "Well, why don't I get a show?"
But like the thing with the Conan interview is that his interviews are always like he's the funny one. He doesn't make the guests like funny. Like there's some interview like Leno was the perfect for that. Like he made you look like $1 million fucking dollars. Like he has you on. Like he's gonna make.
Leno is also so fake, though.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying this is like legit. This is just as like if you're a celebrity, you want to go on Leno because he's gonna make you look good.
But you know what Leno had?
You go on Conan, it's gonna be funny, and people
Leno
talk about
had
it.
the Midwest. Mm-hmm. He appealed to the Midwest, and Letterman was the coastal guy.
I couldn't stand Letterman's show because
and
I
the people
hated the
who
gimmicks.
constantly watch TV are Midwest people. Those are the people that keep Everybody Loves Raymond on the air for 10 years. Even though it was never funny. For one episode, it was never funny. It was on, and it was a hit because of Midwest.
I couldn't stick with the Late Show. I couldn't watch it because I didn't like the banter. I didn't like that. I think if I went back now, I would like it a lot more because it was way more...
Which Late Show are we talking about?
With David Letterman.
No, he was so bad.
Oh, dude, no. His
interviews.
His
humor sucked.
His interviews are legitimately
His interviews are good.
Incredible.
He's the opposite. He's actually the reverse of what we were talking about.
Yes.
Where his jokes at the top and his sketches weren't very good.
No.
But his interviews were good.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. I couldn't stand it because
that's a good point.
Because the opening monologue would be like, here's the same political jokes. He's gonna have Paul Schaefer's gonna laugh for some fucking 40 seconds for some.
We're gonna
reason.
pretend to know why he's there.
Yeah, and then the guests come, and then he asks the real questions. Sometimes you get Cher on, and they get into almost, throwing fucking fists at each other because he antagonizes her, or he brings on Harvey Picar and he kind of goofs on him a lot, and
I felt like that was a classic Letterman moment.
He brought a lot of things. He had what's his name, Andy Kaufman on a few times back.
Oh
way
yeah,
back
that
in the
was
day.
so uncomfortable.
And he did real shit, and that was interesting.
Crispin Glover.
Yeah, the Crispin Glover interview where Crispin Glover is clearly
did a fucking hit of acid before he went on the show
on a different planet, and then I think Letterman says that at one point in the interview, and he's like,
Joaquin Phoenix was the other one.
Yeah.
When Joaquin Phoenix fucking went, I don't know, they got all meta and we're like,
well, that was
him
an
and Casey.
act.
I still think he was on drugs.
Oh, obviously him and Casey Affleck were both doing drugs the whole time.
That's the thing no one wants to mention.
But they made it like a thing.
But now they're trying to act like they weren't excuse me. They're trying to act like, play the whole thing off like the pair of them were...
Oh, it's art. We were being dicks.
Art. And
art.
not fucking...
Yeah.
I don't know what drug they were on, though.
Just
what
everything.
makes you act like that?
I don't know. Everything. Just some uppers, downers. Mix them together.
I think the real joke was on them because we
Quaaludes?
just learned what humongous assholes both of them were.
Yeah. Casey Affleck...
I don't think either... I mean, I know the careers went up after that, but I personally don't care very much for either.
I like Joaquin Phoenix, but he's always been a kind of a weird character actor type guy. Where he kind of just is a weirdo.
Sometimes.
Whereas Casey Affleck, legitimately has some horrible sexual harassment complaints that are...
Well, he looks like he's got that dark side.
A pattern of
They both do, though.
That is... Well, it's the Casey Affleck's The School's Out on... Or the word's out
Here's
on
a good segue, though. You're not going to get any sexual harassment complaints about me from women anyway.
Oh God! Wow. Okay. Thank you. No, you could still do that.
No, I'm not gonna.
You could though. I'm not saying
I could be accused, I suppose.
No, but you could do it. You don't have to be attracted to women to harass women.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you could still.
Why would you do that though?
I don't know, because you're an asshole.
What am I gonna like paw them?
Yeah.
Or
Cop a feel as a joke. But it's not a joke.
But I don't want to feel.
Well, they don't know that. Anyway.
It's weird. Well, yeah, I have to just come out.
Do you want
to
do you want to segue for real here?
I mean, hey, if you got one, let's do it.
No. This is your segue. I'm saying you're changing the topic.
Oh, yeah.
We were joking. Do you want to get serious about this for just a second?
Well, we have to. We're at the top. I want to do at the top, and not like let the suspense.
Let's cut the jokes for just like 5 seconds. Let you say something, and then go immediately back into it. All right, what's up?
And then so I officially came out as gay everywhere. My job,
all over
my
the place.
apartment, my family,
okay.
Everything.
Everyone. Oh, your family
as
well. Okay.
And both families.
Okay. Yep. That's rough. I mean, that must have been rough going through that.
It was like
maybe
one
not rough
side of the family.
A lot of work.
I mean, I got tired out. As much as sometimes people I knew really helped me and propped me up and gave me the energy to kind of see the thing through quickly.
Yeah.
Oops. Other times you would hit things in the road that what's funny about the whole thing when you do it, it's like the one you can have 99% positive reaction, and then when you have the 1% bad reaction, it crushes you.
That's like 100% the way. Not to diminish your experiences by saying this, which is going to completely be off the wall. But this is the same thing as them. Like people look at like YouTube comments, and you'll have like famous people read reviews. 99 good reviews. The one bad review is the one you think about because you're like, what the fuck was wrong with that person? Why did they not like this? Because everybody else thought it was cool.
I know. It's
What's
like
up with this person.
I go
and
all
you have
around.
To think, and the advice that I've always given or think about that is that if there's someone like that that's different than everyone else, it's their problem, not your problem. You know what I mean? They're the ones being bad about this. You know what I mean? Like it's not anything you did. It's something that they
the majority.
Can't do. Exactly. Anyway, so but overall it's been okay.
Yeah, well, the last
we came from a small town,
right?
And I will say that the climate around the homosexual culture of the 2,000 person town that we had was non-existent or bad from that range. Terrible to non-existent.
I don't even know how to describe what the few gay kids had to go through.
I couldn't even imagine. They're just not talking to anyone else in town.
They get bullied and abused constantly.
Oh yeah,
it never ended.
Oh yeah, even I mean that was the way it was in high school though. I mean even if you were suspected of saying something gay, it was like, you're not a man. You're not. You know what I mean? Like
right.
What the hell are you talking about? Like because it was just a weird.
So now knowing this, and then going back there for Thanksgiving and everybody knowing, at first I thought it was kind of. It was starting, I hate to start, first off, before I get into that, though, I just want to say that, I had, not a single friend of mine, had an adverse reaction.
Yes.
They all supported me.
Of course, because why wouldn't you?
Every single one. So, that was very important to me, and it meant a lot to me.
Yeah, well,
and
I'm glad.
It was,
amazing. You came out to me, a year ago.
You were one of the first, you were the first close friend I told.
Yeah.
I told people I knew.
Yeah.
One person actually. You were the second person I told. I told one person.
Yeah. And I knew for a while. Well, and
I only
haven't told
him
anyone
before you because
what the hell?
We were at Plan B.
Oh. Plan B is a gay club.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows.
And
he's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Well, it wasn't that.
Okay.
This is so weird. Because this just shows you like how like kind of odd things can be.
Yeah.
He rode over on his bike.
Yeah.
He worked at a bar downtown. I was going down there. I saw him at Plan B, and I was just like, "Oh my god, so and so." But I have to talk to him. We saw each other.
Oh.
So then.
Oh, okay. So you hadn't come out.
No,
and
not
you
at
were
all.
there, and he knew you and saw you there. So you're like.
So then I go over, and I talk with him a little bit, and then he needs a ride because he needs a bike or whatever. Or I think he actually took a cab.
Okay.
So I'm like, look, I'll drive you back downtown. I'm going back downtown anyway, like whatever. And I'm just like, just hit me up before you go.
Yeah.
We'll go.
Yep.
So then he meets up back with me. We were driving down, and it was like leather and lace night or something.
Oh, of course.
They have that.
Yeah.
I'm not that familiar with the whole thing.
You got your full leather.
I'm still
suit
not
on.
really.
Very warm.
I don't have any of that attire. Anyway.
That's a weird subculture as well.
That's not going to work for me very well.
Well, that's some people it works for really well.
Anyway, so we're driving back, and he's just like, yeah, it was crazy today, right? And I'm just like, ultimately, it's just, there's a pause, and I just kind of said, honestly, like, the reason I was there was I was gay, not just because it was like leather and lace night.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what? Really? I know it was such a classic reply.
That's the thing, though, with like...
but I was so different then. Like, it was so...
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with like a club like Plan B is like they're... Like, you could be a straight guy there, and people would just be like, whatever, Like, I know some people that go to clubs like that are gay are just kind of like, why are you here? Because, like, you have your own clubs to go to.
Honestly,
is for us.
I don't have a problem with it at all.
No, I don't think... I think the majority of people are just like, whatever. You can come and dance here if you want to, because the other clubs even is really trashy.
They need business. Compared
to Plan B, which everyone loves. I've never been, because I hate dancing and clubs in general. So
I've been there very few times. I think that
there's another one too, Club 5.
I haven't even been there. Then there's Soto, which is on Henry Street. That one like has like no air ventilation, so like you basically are in like a humid.
So it's like hot yoga, but it's dancing,
and it's like all body heat. So it's like
good. You can just scrape it off the walls.
Honestly, I think that like I prefer. Those types of like gay bars and stuff are good to visit, but like I can't take the intensity of it.
Yeah,
because there's always like 5 or so guys or somebody. Gay bars, by the way, are like way more for guys than they are for women.
Oh yeah,
just I thought throw that out there.
Yeah,
you will never walk into a gay bar and see mostly lesbians. No. It will not happen.
No, I think lesbians have their own bars.
Unless like maybe in very large cities, that could be.
Yeah.
But where I'm coming from, I've never seen it. I've seen very few women out there.
And gay culture and lesbian culture are very different, like they have different...
I don't get it either. I do not understand. I still don't get it.
I don't get it either. Nobody gets it.
I don't get the like weird, like kind of friendship they have with each other, but not really.
Who knows? Well, it's
not bad, but it's just like not quite what it could be.
Yeah.
But
that's good. So I'm glad that this is all out now.
Well, it was like
So I have only had gay roommates.
Yes.
Except for Lauren. Cross my fingers.
Well,
get married in May, so.
Can I say, I don't know if that's like...
What?
I'll just say, and then, I don't know, I don't want to, can I say off for a second?
I can't pause it.
I'll talk to you over here for a second.
Okay, well, it'll still be on the mics, but what do you want? Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't sure about whole... Yeah, so...
I think...
Well, you just mentioned it, I suppose.
I don't see why I wouldn't... Okay, honestly, now that you're saying this, I don't know if I got the all clear on that one, but I'm pretty sure I did.
I thought it was
I feel like he's talked about it on the podcast a lot.
Okay.
So, but yes, Adam as well. He's bi.
Is he bi?
Last I heard, but we'll see.
Adam, what are you
He has been dating a guy for a long time.
Adam, what are you thinking? I'm just fucking with you. You can do whatever you want.
I'm sure. But it's really interesting that it's just like...
oh, my God.
Have you talked to him about this?
Yeah, I've been I've texted
Oh, I
him.
think I talked to him about that. I was like, yeah. I was like, Lance talked to you, right? And he was like, yeah. Because it's really interesting. Because he was like...
Oh, I have to tell...
He was dating men when we were in the 3-room
And I had
together.
no idea.
I had no idea either. Because now I'm thinking about it, there would be nights where he'd just be like... Because we would hang out all the time. Because he didn't really have a huge social life. Not that he isn't capable of it. Adam's a very personable guy.
A bad liar, though.
But he is very much... He's very much a guy who... It takes a lot of effort for him to do something and go somewhere and like plan it out. And so there would be nights where we'd be like, "Hey, you want to hang out tonight?" He's like, "No, I got something I got to go do." And I was like, "What is it?" He's like, "Just something to do."
I know. He's
and he would
fucking
stonewall you and not come up with a fake excuse. He would just play like, "You don't need to know." And I would just be like, "He's probably just fucking going to go fucking pay a bill somewhere or go see his dad to go fucking open a storage locker." They had some fucking storage locker scheme going on where they had fucking...
Honestly,
fucking
though, it would not have been... It would be the easiest of things for him to come up with an excuse.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand why he was so bad at that.
Yeah. He's not, you know what? Adam's not good at lying because he's a very good guy.
That's true.
Because he's not an adept liar.
That's true.
He's a nice guy. So it's like, so we're saying only good things about you. But I think that blew my mind. But that wasn't where you were at that point.
What was?
That you weren't
No.
dating. No, not until recently.
I
correct?
had like maybe one encounter in that apartment. It was after you already left.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one time.
Yeah.
And then a long time passed, and then I lost a bunch of weight, and then some more girls.
A lot of
weight.
Like, this is something that I don't think has been said. Maybe a little bit on the show, but like you lost like what? A lot?
Like 120 or 30 pounds.
Yeah, a lot. Like, because you were a pretty big guy.
I went from like 330 to like 180.
Yeah.
And then that was the lowest. And then eventually, like, you go up because you went too far.
Yeah, you got to the homeostasis.
I still would want to like kind of go back down another 10 pounds, but like
we all would.
I'm comfortable. Yeah, exactly. Now I'm in the comfortable range where normal people are,
You're in the. Oh man, I should lose a little bit of weight, but I'm not dying, so
right.
It's fine. Whereas I'm in the.
It's the holidays.
It's
that type of thing.
I gotta turn my ringtones off here.
I do like that sonic effect, though.
I know, it's great.
Wow.
Yep.
I want the turtle com from Ninja Turtles.
Excuse me?
The turtle com?
I thought you said turtle cum. I was like, wait, what Ninja Turtles were you reading?
Freudian slip.
No, the turtle com. Okay. What's that noise?
It's like... It's a unique sound that I can't even mimic.
Okay.
But once you hear it, you'll be like, that's turtle com.
When we take a break, so
I'd
love to hear it.
Sorry.
So yeah, when did you kind of to know? So you lost a bunch of weight, and that was like when?
Right.
2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Well, I mean, honestly, like I remember, and this is like going to sound really depressing, but you have to understand the situation I grew up with.
Oh, wait, can I talk to you about your weight loss for just a second?
Oh, sure.
Because I think I hung out with you, and you looked pretty much the same, and then like the next time we hung out, you were like tiny. It happened quickly.
Yeah, I think it was...
Well, we didn't hang out
Well, it happened in
much.
stages. There were some times where...
Okay, so maybe you looked a little bit thinner, and then there was...
I probably lost a lot between some visits, I would think.
Yeah, there must have been like... Well, then I think we weren't hanging out as much because you were living with Eric, and you had stopped doing the podcast as regularly, so it was kind of like... You were downtown. It was kind of a hassle to drive out all the way out to Middleton to like see, and like... You had Eric to hang out with all the time, so there really wasn't like I need to go see John all the time, and I was always hanging out with fucking Matt and Adam anyway, so it was like that. And then so there was probably like 6 months where we didn't probably hang out, maybe talked on the phone or texted, but that, and then it was just like, what the fuck happened?
Right,
like a different person, because you went from like you were like the before and after in my mind because it just happened so quickly to me.
No, I don't even like. I have a hard time, like, even relating to, like, past photographs.
So how did you do that?
Well, you know, I just...
Stop eating out.
No, that wasn't it.
No, okay. Lance,
my main...
People need to know the secret. Did you eat Subway sandwiches?
No, I did not. And Sarah never got in the shape I got in, so...
Fair enough.
And he's a creepy guy. So anyway,
let's talk about the Fogel the better.
Though they could use a new spokesman, so maybe I should throw that out there.
Lantz ate Subway, just so call him about this.
But the main thing was I was weighing myself like multiple times throughout the day.
That's not good.
I know. It's like a weird like fucking, what do you call that? Like,
so anorexia.
I never threw anything up.
That's
honestly.
bulimia.
Oh, right. What's anorexia?
It's not, you're not anorexic because you're not dying. So.
No. I actually gained some.
Anorexia
like I said,
is obsessed with your weight and the way you look.
Well, it was more of a Weight Watchers thing, really. It was.
There you go.
I wanted to know what these meals were gaining and losing for me.
Okay.
So when I ate something, I was checking the scale because I wanted to know what happened.
Okay.
And then I ended up learning that the supper or dinner is where all the difference is made.
Okay.
And so I ended up just like sipping water and almost like when I was really determined, which I was, to just do that and then when I loosened up a little bit afterwards, water turned into hot chocolate, of course, and that type of thing, but peanut snacks.
Yeah.
But like the supper was the meal that I ended up like I was only eating like 2 meals a day because I was adding them up and I was like, well, I'm going to lose weight, and it was getting to be like a pound a week. Mm-hmm. I'm going to lose weight as long as I don't if I consume like 1,400 calories in a day, I'm going to lose weight.
Yeah.
I knew that.
I mean, you consumed 2,200 calories, you're going to lose weight at the weight that you're at.
But I
not as fast as you did.
Well, I think that like that's kind of high for me. I think everybody has their own type of like calorie counts, and I think that honestly, I'm not in the 2,000 calorie level. I think that that's why one of the reasons why I gained weight my whole life was because something with my own body is that you are not a 2,000 calorie a day person. You are actually below that. So, you need to be consuming, in my opinion, if I was going to be sustaining myself, would be consuming about 1,700.
Okay.
I don't know how to do the math on that because who has time?
Yeah.
But that's my estimation.
So,
and if you want to lose weight, if you're me, you got to go 1,400.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the week, you're going to lose.
So the interesting thing about the analysis that you made, me knowing a lot about metabolics and stuff, I haven't gone to college for biology, but is that you're 100% right. Everyone's completely different. And really what works for you is what the thing is. So that's important if you are actually wanting to lose weight. You have to talk to your doctor or do what you did in lieu of a doctor is experiment and find out what worked. But, because it's different for every person. And one of the things that's so pernicious about weight loss, Lance, is that you've kind of ruined yourself for the rest of your life by being overweight.
Right.
Because your fat cells get used to that. And so it's harder for your fat cells to give up, basically. Because when you go into starve mode, which is like like you're saying, 1,700 calories, your body thinks it's starving, even though you're fine.
Right.
Because it's so used to having so much. And so it takes years and years
But I always
of
use
getting through
that
it.
supper as the equalizer.
Yeah.
And if I had the will to not eat a meal,
yeah.
and then eventually I just don't
But
eat.
that's the way it's probably, I think a doctor would say that's not the healthiest way to lose weight.
Well, but
meals.
actually though, I've been that all kind of led into like a new thing where I over time, because I'm talking about that was the initial weight loss. That was 3 years ago.
I want to tell you about this. That's actually what a lot of doctors would tell you, is that you have to go through a period where you starve yourself because your stomach is used to being a certain size and it will shrink if you stop eating so much. And then you won't get hungry as much. And you just kind of have to condition yourself.
Well, now you remember what I used to be like, and I love vegetables now.
Yeah.
I am excited when we have them at work, and then I'm like, oh, I'm just going to eat vegetables for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Like I do eat for dinner now. It's just that and I've totally changed the way I eat. But that came after I had to. I don't know. Without getting the whole
we don't need to get way into this.
Right.
I'm sorry. I just thought it was interesting because that's something I don't think we talked about, but is also a big change in your life.
Right.
That was precipitated on, which is so funny because you and Adam were always going to fast food places and stuff when you lived together, and Adam kind of did the same thing you did, where he was just like, I gotta stop.
I can't speak.
I have to stop eating bad.
Speak specifically for him, but
Yeah.
I do know that I was greatly depressed,
Yeah.
and I
Well, I think Adam would talk about it that way as well. I don't want to speak
time.
for him, but I think that. But he was just I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. It's like when you're depressed, you don't want to do stuff. And what's the easiest thing to do? Go through a drive-thru on your way home. You know, you don't have to think about it. You just eat and you're done. Whereas, anyway.
And I started, the other thing that I would use is, the last thing I would use was a recommendation. Anybody wants to lose weight.
Sure.
Think about the shitty food you're eating and grade it like your Chef Ramsay. I want you to...
That is actually a good thing.
I want you to think about how overpowering the cheese is on pizza and how worthless some of the ingredients are that you are eating.
That's fair enough. It's be a good critic, because and another thing people will say is like with empty calories. It's like, why am I eating this? Like, if I'm eating why am I eating a McDonald's cheeseburger? It's not a good cheeseburger. If I'm going to eat a really good cheeseburger,
grade it out of 10.
Once a week, I'm going to go to a really nice restaurant, have one really good cheeseburger, and not eat shitty cheeseburgers, because why did I waste my calories on that? You know what I mean?
Ultimately, even though it's been difficult, like being like cooking and everything.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I do aspire to more of a vegetarian diet, but I have not been able to pull that off. but that
a lot of
something
people will say
to
eating
aspire.
less meat is good, because meat's got a lot of calories.
I'm just trying to. I'm not saying it's like. I don't get like too down if I fail that thing, but just to try to keep trying. That's the main thing as far as like eating these types of foods and stuff. Like I think that. But anyway, don't get too discouraged and then go on a whole binge. It's just like I said, like now, like the way I've kind of changed and everything. Yeah, I've tried to go vegetarian like 5 times already, and it never even... Sometimes I don't even realize I'm eating meat. I'm like, God damn, how much meat am I eating? Like, this crazy. And then... So it's something
Being in the Midwest does not help.
No. And also, like, cooking. Because I actually have to taste things to see if they're good. So I can't honestly quit meat totally.
Yeah.
But I can stop eating it as meals.
Yeah.
But I want to know if I prepare something that is fucking good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's something that, I always like to have like, that's the other thing, like just kind of setting goals and just like keep going at them. Just keep going for them.
So one thing you said is that you weighed yourself a lot. One thing I've heard is So a lot of people say don't weigh yourself a lot because of what you said, whereas you have a setback and you lose it. You're just like, why am I even trying? And then you quit. But for some people, like you did, weighing yourself like every day is good, because then you're just like, okay, I understand what mistakes I've made, and I need to not do that. And then you see the gains, and you're like, okay, I'm making forward progress.
And I never bought into the Atkins thing. I always thought that was stupid.
The fad diets are stupid. You need to don't do that, because
those are the foods that make you feel full, that are nourishing.
You're going to lose.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist he was, but for God's sakes.
But the thing with fad diets like that is you're
never eat pasta again, ever.
You're going to lose weight, but you're also going to gain it back, because there's no way you can sustain that unless you're someone like the Atkins guy, who I'm sure probably didn't like pasta. So it was okay for him to never eat pasta again.
I remember he's all about grapefruit, and it's just like...
you can't even have grapefruit if you're on a statin. Like if you have blood pressure medicine, you can't have
too much sugar.
No, it has to do with the chemicals in grapefruit. It fucks with the medicine. Your blood pressure medicine.
I hate grapefruit. I just have to tell you, it's the worst bitter taste I've ever...
I like grapefruit flavoring on things if it's like light. Like a Graff's 50/50, like the mixer that has just like, it's half like lemon lime, half grapefruit. It has just a little bit of that tang, but eating a grapefruit, ugh.
Anyway, I think that...
Let's get off this subject and back to the important one.
It's
not... I wanted to know, because I think it's something also interesting and serious.
I feel like I made all my points, though, on that, and if anybody wants to ask me more about it, I have a Twitter page, so just get on my Twitter.
Real Lantz Man, or whatever the hell you are.
Yeah.
You fucking wasted all the money I spent on you by closing your Twitter account and making a new one. All those followers I bought you.
It caused me to... be more aware of who started following me, And one guy I think wants to recruit me for a Christian military.
That's good.
So I have that going for me.
That's good. The
He's going to fight ISIS with Christian soldiers.
Last I heard, ISIS, the caliphate that exists, is almost gone.
They're almost done.
Yeah.
Done skis.
Oh yeah, because everyone's the Russians.
Did they figure
the
out
Syrians,
that
and the Americans
trying to fight
and
the entire
Iraqis.
world at the same time was a bad idea?
We could get into the politics about this.
I'm positive I know nothing about politics other than those people are assholes.
What I know about ISIS is the whole point was to fight everyone.
Right.
So
the idea disgruntled, like people had sand in their eyes for too long, and they got very angry.
No, the idea is that they created the caliphate to ignite a world war and make everyone fight everyone, and everyone fight them, and they're going to die as martyrs, but they fucked shit up, basically.
What a stupid idea they had.
It kind of worked until they...
What do you mean?
Well, it kind of worked because everyone fought each other. Syria's civil war was pretty bad. U.S.-Russia tensions got pretty bad. But the thing is...
they teamed up, though.
They didn't... Exactly. It didn't stick out. It didn't go to the level that they hoped, and it just kind of
they ended up getting stomped on.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I didn't know that they were stomped on.
They'll still be around, for forever.
Why do they have to be around?
Well, because there's always crazy people. Like, there's always going to be crazy people, no matter where you're at. But
I don't know. If you lose really hard, you're gone sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
hopefully, anyway.
I mean, Al-Qaeda hasn't made a lot of attacks recently, so...
Who knows?
They got stomped.
I still think that they just need, new, eye protection gear, and they wouldn't be so pissed off. I think the desert is just, whipping sand up.
What they need is
right into their eyes.
What they need is for global warming to fuck everyone else. So it's hot.
Oh, right.
Global
warming is not the reason why they're in a desert, John.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that global warming will make all of us in a desert, and then
they'll just live on a glass sheet. They'll be dead.
It'll have melted into glass.
We'll be in the desert. They'll be on a glass sheet.
Oh, fair enough. That's
true. Or
a
mirror.
That's true. But then they'll be like, now you know what it's like to live in a desert.
They won't be there to tell us.
That's true. No, they'll all be living in their crazy...
When it's 5,000 degrees.
They'll all be living in their crazy oil mansions that they have.
That are apparently important to them.
Dude, man, I don't know. All right, and we're back from our break. Got a little refresher. I'm drinking Lake Louie's Warped Speed.
Did you get the Dark Shadows or not?
Wait, what are you talking about? The Lake Louie Dark Shadows?
There's a Dark Shadows beer.
I know. I saw that in the store, and I didn't because it looked weird.
I wanted to ask you if Barnabas would approve.
Barnabas. Have you ever watched that show?
Not really.
I think one of Lauren's friends I know is way into it. There's people that are obsessed with that show. That sitcom, or not sitcom, soap opera it was. Dark Shadows. It's in Mad Men, right? What's her name?
Oh, I forgot about that.
What's her name? Jessica Parra's character. His last wife.
I don't know the Mad Men actresses as the real name.
Well, anyway, his younger wife.
Peggy?
No, Peggy's not married to Don. Don.
Wait. Oh, the
Jessica Parra, the
Italian,
French-Canadian.
the French one.
Yes. She's does soap operas, and she was a guest in a Dark Shadows arc. She talks about.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that was a fun reference.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah. So anyway, we're back. Speaking of coming out of the Dark Shadows, let's continue our story where we left off here. So Lance is a workout guru. No, I'm kidding.
No, that section of the show is over.
That chapter is over. You didn't work out though, right? You didn't really. Just ate different.
Yeah, it was all diet.
That's what most people will say. All diet.
You can't work yourself out of a bad weight problem. I'm positive. You'll end up like a barrel-chested E-Honda.
Okay. All right, but we can't get back into it. But yeah, I know. I just wanted to bring that up because I
or
know
Zangief.
Hey, I would love.
You could be a
Zangief. I would love to look like Zangief. If I could grow that facial and chest hair, I would. Oh, fuck, dude. That's my ideal body. Zangief. I want to wrestle some bears.
Mohawk.
Fuck yeah, man.
Something. He had a triple mohawk.
Yeah, he was...
mohawk on the sides of his head.
Yeah, he was a badass. So anyway, or M. Bison. I can do the M. Bison look. Just be a weird, tall guy with super ripply muscles.
I mean, obviously, M. Bison's basically a Russian dictator.
Yeah, that's my future goal. to be a Russian dictator.
I like how, I don't know, not to get on a tangent, and we're getting right into something.
Yeah, we're already getting on tangent, so it's great.
Fucking, like, Putin thinks he's so awesome because he takes his shirt off while he fishes. What a fucking dick. I've never seen a bigger dick than this guy. He's just like, look at this. I'm comfortable. The fact that I'm not perfectly sculpted, but I have real man muscles.
Yeah, he's like got the dad bod going.
And it's just like, I want you to just dive into that water and not come up. Just don't come up. Don't bother.
Don't bother.
Anyway.
Well, now we're all going to get murdered. Because you said this.
I didn't really... It was
Lance, this is the
of
opinions of Lance Kilcoyne and not of the Born in the 80s network.
I'm going to get the umbrella tip in the calf
that's right.
after this.
You're getting the strontium fucking 39 radioactive isotope in your...
I swear a bee stung me. Dead. 7 days later.
Yeah. I mean, he was in the KGB, so he knows all about that.
Of course he does.
Fucking A, dude.
But if he had to kill everybody who talks shit about him,
yeah,
it'd be a list.
Well, speaking of regimes that like to kill gay people, let's no segueing back here. So
what did we want to talk about?
So okay, well let's I went on a tangent about your weight loss,
right?
But you also said that this last month or recently you came out to everyone, family, friends, everyone, and you had a great reception for the most part. From your friends. Yep. So what was that like? You said you went back to You said you went home for Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah. And where do you go to Thanksgiving?
I had 2 sides of my family.
Okay.
And one side
so
basically.
Do you do 2 Thanksgivings?
Not normally.
Okay.
I showed up at. I'll start the story in chronological order.
Okay, let's do it.
I went to the original dad's side of my family.
Okay.
Who are the greatest people. They're so nice.
Yeah.
And I didn't this was right at the beginning of everything.
Okay.
And so I don't feel comfortable making an announcement in front of everybody when I'm just a part of the picture.
Yeah.
So I was acting the way that I act now.
Yeah.
Which is the way I'm comfortable now.
Yep.
And that also changes too. That's something that I would mention is that when you are holding back, you're holding back something of yourself, and you kind of. So then, I didn't exactly say to everyone that I was coming out as gay. Mm-hmm. What I did was I acted as if I wasn't holding out, because I hadn't seen them in a while.
Yeah. And
I just acted the way I want to act.
Yeah. Life's too short.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everybody was super cool, and it was fun because most of them are from Madison or Madison crowd, that side of the family. Yep. And there was one guy who actually and this was that 1%, but he took me I remember him taking me to a baseball game when I was very young, and it's a memory that was always fun because he picked, he's just like, hey, I'll pick you up and we'll go to the game. And he knew the owner of the minor league team. Okay. And I got a ball, and I tried to get Darryl Strawberry to autograph it, but he was a fucking dickhead and walked past me.
He's probably, I gotta go do some cocaine, so
honestly,
I don't got time.
Do I have to elaborate on him being a dickhead?
Or was it crack that he was doing? It was crack.
He was crack.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Cocaine and crack.
Yeah.
Somehow the media got wind that he had descended into crack. Anyway.
Yep. Yep. He went through a bad period. He's come out though. He's made through the dark times.
I don't like him though. I never will like him after that.
Wow. Well, that's the thing. When you have when
you meet somebody who you liked and then they're dicks to you. Yeah. I don't care what anybody says. When it happens, you don't ever fucking support those people again. At least that's the way I.
He would need to have to personally talk to you about it.
Yes,
and be like, I was having a bad day. It wasn't you. It's my fault. And they give you a sign ball now, and be like, I'm sorry.
Get me a ice cream soda.
Yeah, right.
He has to actually.
You guys go out to the tap, go to the fountain, the 50s style fountain diner.
A&W. Mm-hmm. But anyway, this guy started looking at me, giving me the eye, and I could tell. You can tell when somebody's very kind of like a sensitive subject, and you can tell like most people are kind of like whatever, not a big deal.
Yeah.
And then this guy, who is the guy who took me on the baseball game trip when I was young, looks at me and he starts staring at me, and it's like making me uncomfortable. And he decides to tell a joke out of nowhere that says like, "What's the difference between people born on the right side of the Mississippi or the left side?" This joke is so bad.
It already sounds like a bad premise, but let's move on. Yep. How's it go?
And he goes,
give me that punchline.
One side's people from probably Wisconsin or something. One side's people from Wisconsin, the other side's cocksuckers. And it was so out of place, like, because nobody even like had any like used any swear words the whole night. It was just not that type of night.
Yep.
And like he's just these looks after that and before that, and I knew it was just one of those like one of those things where it was directed at me, and it made me very uncomfortable, and so that was tough. But that, out of if I have 30-something relatives and one person does that to me, that's not a bad ratio.
Yeah.
And then like my closer family was another scenario where basically nobody, even though I told everybody and then arrived, nobody wanted to acknowledge it. And if I started to act a certain way as the way that I act now, I was given dirty looks, and basically like, and I eventually kind of like couldn't talk to anybody for a while, and then I ended up like, I'm being totally honest, and I don't want to discourage anybody because there's a lot of positives to doing this, but I was basically like biting the inner side of my lip, like trying not to cry for like the last 30 minutes of that visit. And then when we got in the car, I couldn't help it, but my ride, who were also very close family friends and everything, not to be like too self-important, but probably like 30 minutes of like you can tell when somebody's crying inside your car.
Yeah.
And nobody asked me what was wrong. And the whole thing just left me very soured. And then after that, there was another member of my family who immediately after this wanted me to throw in a certain amount of money on an extra gift for my mom.
Okay.
Which is fine, except for like at that point, like I started to feel like maybe I was being needled and fucked with a little bit, and it started to annoy me. Like, so I'm not going to be doing. Once a year, I will give it another go next year.
Yeah.
I am not going back.
I mean, how recent was this?
This was this week.
I mean, that you came out. Was it this week?
Oh no, that was like. Was it? It was leading up into Thanksgiving with my family.
Okay.
So I told my sisters and my mom.
And that was so this was this was the Darlington family, right?
Yes.
Okay, that you were at.
The immediate family.
Okay.
And my thought was like, I know I'm like kind of like overly sensitive, but my thought was that I don't have anything to prove. I've been in this family for 30 years.
Yeah.
I felt like I don't feel like it's enough to be tolerated. I feel like I should be accepted.
Yeah.
And when you feel like you're being placated, it hurts by your immediate family. When you feel like people are kind of like just putting up with you, it fucking really hurt.
Yeah, that's tough.
So I can't do it again next month. Next year, I think I'll give it another shot.
Yeah.
These holidays are stacked up at the end of the year. It's not my problem.
They put them back to back.
They were 6 months apart.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
But, I don't... That's just where it is.
I couldn't imagine having to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like...
And I will tell you, because, I've been very open about the whole experience and everything.
Yeah.
It's been, like... cathartic, the whole experience. It's been amazing. It's been something I was going to do 3 or 4 months ago,
Yeah.
and then I had an accident, and I
Oh
was
yeah, you hurt your shoulder.
encumbered.
Yeah.
So you don't really take daring moves when you're injured and you can barely fucking move your arm.
Yeah.
But I was about to then.
Yeah.
Push the whole thing back, start feeling better, did it. But I will say this, and this is like something that like maybe even this is just my pure feelings on the whole subject with my immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
When I was dropped off from that car, I thanked them for the ride. I went into my house.
Mm-hmm.
I went into my room. I shut off the lights and wept. It was that bad. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just like
I mean,
I
that's
don't
rough.
understand why it has to be this way. But
Yeah. I mean, it's rough. I honestly don't know because I mean, this is something I've never gone through. I have no personal experience, but sometimes it takes people a lot of time.
and
Because they knew you as who you were for 30 years. As
They expect
as
me
this,
to
and they
be
don't
that
know.
person.
And like you said, they see you how many times a year? 2 times a year.
times
so
a year.
they're not used to it. You know what I mean? And I think I don't know. Maybe it'll take a couple times for them to see. Like, oh, he's no different. You know what I mean? Like this doesn't change anything.
right,
I've always been this way. I just haven't been open about it.
right.
And that just sucks, though. Because I don't know what to say other than that sucks.
That's just the situation, and that's just where it's at.
We're
We're
gonna have a
basically
situation.
we're gonna have a situation.
Sorry, we were talking about Jersey Shore in the break. So
Well, I will. Honestly, as much as like, and this would be kind of like my standing point, and I'm sure I'll learn more in the next year.
yeah.
As much as like you're afraid people may not like you anymore when you reveal your true self and come to terms with it.
Uh-huh.
The reverse can also happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not an angry person or anything, but I also don't, like I said, 2 times a year. So how much like can I really put up with bullshit?
Yeah.
It's my day off as well.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of days off.
Mm-hmm.
How willing could I be to subject myself to more of that?
Mm-hmm.
So there better be a goddamn improvement next year, or else or not. I'm not gonna say or else because that sounds like what's that Inspector Gadget villain? But
That's right.
I just want to say that
Next time.
as gay people, we also have our own standards, and I don't think that that should be taken for granted either. That our time is also valuable. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to be devalued. I'm just going to give it another go next year and see how it goes.
Yeah.
But honestly, wasn't great.
No, I don't think
everything else was great. That wasn't great.
Well, I'm glad that at least as far as your friends have been, it's all been great.
Oh my God, my friends have been amazing.
And that's important. So, yeah, so I'm sorry.
I don't know if we've ever gotten this serious on the show before.
A few times. Remember when you and
Mercury
got into a fight? That was pretty serious. Oh my God, that was some good times. You haven't seen him at Club 5, where he's always doing his little...
even in town?
He does. He tours. He does. I think he does oh my God, like burlesque show type things. I think they do this at Club 5 a lot. So I don't know. He's always around. He does travel a lot. He's married now.
Right, to the Iowa girl.
Oh my God, what's her dang name? I don't remember because I've never met her. I met her once, I think. So I mean, he's off. He's doing his thing. He's traveling the Midwest, doing his shows. So good for him. But yeah, he's.
You know what's funny too? I'd like to comment on a little bit. I've heard I'm just happy that in my age group and everything, my friends have been so supportive because for some in the past that's not the case.
Yeah.
And I've seen older people who are still closeted, kind of.
Yeah.
And I've heard the things they've said at places,
mm-hmm.
and they sound homophobic.
Yeah.
when you hear somebody who is 50 who's still like closeted talking about gay scene, they basically sound like they despise it.
Yeah.
Not always. Well,
No. I know what you.
It's
I
tough,
think,
though.
I think I know what you're getting.
It's hard
at.
on them.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like they use like, I mean, I won't say, you know, and I hate to call it that, but it's like the cliche and everything, but the other F word and stuff.
Yeah.
It will, you throw that out there and just be like talking about like how much tougher they are and all this, and it's just like, what is happening?
What is wrong
what
with
is
you?
important here?
Yeah,
Nothing
dude.
about this.
Yeah. You know, that's it's a whole scene. I'm sure you're learning about it as well.
Well, I mean, I think that type of thing, like, you're better off just kind of like moving past it, not like.
Yeah.
When somebody starts talking to me about that type of language,
Yeah.
I need to just move along. I can't get involved in somebody's own like time warp in their head, and their own like backwards thinking and like.
Yeah, I feel like
why would you bother?
Man, I feel like I need to have a podcast with Adam now because I've never talked about him about this stuff.
Really?
No, he's kind of on his own. You know what I mean? He moved away. You know, he moved close to family who were very supportive. You know, his mom and his brother. You know, so it's kind of like. He kind of moved away from everyone, so he doesn't really contact anyone except for his, you know, really close family. So it never, I don't think, was an issue for him. I'm sure. I don't know though because I haven't talked to him about it. You know what I mean? Like, because he came out to me a couple years ago.
I can see in a few ways that it could be very difficult for him.
I definitely know that because of some of the family that he has and some of the, you know, he grew up in the same small town you and I did, you know, so there are definitely
talking about
people with prejudices, you know, that are, you know, and I don't know. It sucks. I don't even know what I would do. Like, I'm very happy I don't have to do that. Sorry, that sounds bad, but you know what I mean? Like, it's a rough thing to have to go through, so.
Well, you know, it's like, I felt like.
But you have to, you know what I mean? Like you said, you can't be one of these 50-year-old guys or
you saw
closeted their whole lives.
You saw the way that, like, I talked with Lauren when I finally, like, let it all go. Mm-hmm. It was a different scene.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, because people in our age group are just whatever. Like, who cares? Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. Like, it's just the way you are.
I feel, like, very good for the younger generations that I think will just not have to deal with all the turmoil and bullshit. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
But like, it's been like the negative portions of it don't concern me.
Yeah.
Because the positive parts of it is basically like kind of like.
Yeah.
Made it all come together for me. And I always thought, and I would end this maybe topic unless you have another question.
No, I do. I have plenty of questions.
Okay, well, we'll get into the questions.
Yeah.
But
quiz
I always thought, I saw an interview with Rob Halford. You know, I love heavy metal.
I know. So wait, okay, so now the Judas Priest love is making sense now. I'm kidding. But yeah, okay, go. Yep, Rob Halford. Incredible singer, Judas Priest.
And he had just a one-off VH1 special. I don't even know the name of it. Mm-hmm. I was just recorded things that were on TV. Yeah. And I watched it. And he said, and I love the way he talks, too, with the accent.
Yeah.
And he goes, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're the person that you want to be and you realize that's the person you are, it's a great affirmation of yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ever since I heard that, I knew I was going to have to come out.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as he said that on a show, and I saw it like a year ago.
Yeah.
And then everything was like, I have to work towards this.
Yeah.
And he's just been an amazing inspiration to me. Mm-hmm. Because I think that we have a lot of similarities where we like heavy music.
Well, I was about to say, you're into some of the same culture, you know, the heavy metal and...
But then you get like a lot of the homophobic stuff from all the metal people.
Yeah.
And that's annoying. But like, it doesn't to detract from the fact that I and Rob love that type of music.
Yeah.
And... yeah, I just thought it was just like a profound statement that I thought was amazing. Like, and it really inspired me. It was like, this is something, it means something to me, you know?
Yeah. I think I think that's great. I mean, that you can have like someone to look, not necessarily like a role model, but like something to like understand. Like, yeah, that is right. That's the way I think and feel too, and have that, affirmed with somebody else who's obviously gone through the same thing, and have been in the same situation. So that's really cool. One thing I wanted to ask was, I think I'd ask you.
Now we're
this
getting into the questions.
Yeah, I'd ask you this in person, but how long have you known this? Like, I know a lot of times, some people didn't know this until a lot later in life, or have kind of known all along. You know what I mean? Like, what's your situation? If you want to get into it, again, if you don't want to answer these questions, it's totally fine.
I've been asked this before, and in a setting of a bar or restaurant, I have not been able to answer it.
Yeah.
In a discussion forum, I can answer it.
Okay.
But I've been asked.
Well, it's not an easy. It's not a simple
I've been asked
answer.
this at a bar, and
Correct.
I can't answer it there because it takes the moments of silence in between words.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of.
You need to get your elevator pitch together. Give you the 40-second story. Just get that down so you can just. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, at that place, it's not appropriate. I feel.
Yeah.
Here, it is appropriate.
Yeah, this is the place to do it.
Exactly. And basically, my entire life, and I only dated anybody in high school because I felt like people were going to come after me if I didn't.
You did better than me. I don't think I dated anyone in high school.
I dated one girl for 2 months. And it was torture.
Okay.
Not because of her, but because of me.
Yeah.
Then I had a series of one-offs every year or two.
Yeah.
Basically nothing in between and nothing lasting very long.
Yeah.
Because I hated it and I was miserable.
Yeah.
But I honestly knew this, but I was in denial forever. And that's why I said I enjoy like what the younger generation will go through, because I feel like they won't have to put up with like this type of thing. But
yeah,
eventually, when I was 25, and I at this point I had never had a relationship lasting longer than a week for it. Well, I had the high school one, but that's not real.
No,
it's not.
Stuff before you graduate high school doesn't really count.
But I basically had, I don't know, 5 or 6 relationships that crashed and burned immediately. Yeah. And were uncomfortable. Yeah. And I said after the last one, when I was like, because then I lost all the weight, and then girls were attracted to me. Yeah. So I banged 2 more girls, and they were both not any good, or vice versa. Correct. And I said after the second one, I'm sorry to use "It's Always Sunny" language, but
it's fair.
I threw it out there.
Okay, excuse me. If you made love to,
Identisystemed
made
a few,
made whoopee. Okay. Yep.
And but by the way, like the last like 4 or 5 encounters I had with women were, I never made a move. It never happened that way. Yeah. Like I got to a point where like when I was in my early 20s when I just wouldn't. Yeah. And if they came on to me and wanted to go home, yeah, I guess we did something sometimes. Yeah, yeah. But I didn't enjoy it, and eventually when I was like, 25 or 24, 25.
It's like 5, 6 years ago.
5 or 6 years ago, after the last time it happened, I was like, I'm never doing this again because it's unfair to the women. It's bullshit. Like, they're looking for something. I can't deliver. It's just not. Yeah. I mean, it's not like.
It's not you.
No.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about like being gay is like, it's not a good fit. It's don't do it. Don't fuck the wrong sex. Like, honestly.
Life's too short. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's not. Could you imagine what could what happens when
I mean that's
it's the pressure from the outside that pushes you into these types of things.
That's the society that we've lived with. I mean, you hear about like, actors in Hollywood in like the 30s, 40s, 50s of having to basically have kids and have have
it's
this
misery.
fucking wife just so that they can work, and then having the second life.
And
because,
it's not good for anybody.
No, obviously not, because those people had, drinking problems, health problems, and didn't, leading a double life, and...
Yeah, I'm not a fucking secret agent.
Well,
I'm just a person.
You're not, oh, fuck, what, God damn it. I wanted the Sopranos reference here, but I can't remember that character's name.
Oh. Johnny Cakes?
Yeah, no, but I mean, who's that? It's not Paulie. It's God damn it. It's the guy who runs off. And he tells his kids...
Vito.
Yeah, and he tells his kids he's a secret agent.
That's the best thing.
I mean, he's literally...
He actually just said, basically
yes,
what I...
Yes, he's literally living a double life, and he's lying to his wife and his kids, saying he's a secret agent when he's, off in Maine, also hiding from, like, a hit, because he's, like...
I don't think I ever understood that before until now, and that, like, joke, or that
But
point.
That's it, though.
That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, he couldn't tell. And a part of it with that whole storyline was that culture, that wouldn't stand it. I mean, you can tell. I mean, like when Tony finds out, he's like, he's got to go. Like we can't have him.
Tony's actually kind of like in the middle.
Yes. Well, but I mean, how about
it's the other people who want him gone.
How about this? Tony's reaction was initially that, where he was like, "Oh, because that's just the way he was brought up."
But he has a therapist.
Yes, and he's like, "Okay, I understand."
He's been exposed to this other world of thinking.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, he's trying to be a voice of reason, and then it just doesn't. You know what I mean? Like Vito's situation was also that the other family wanted him dead. So there's a really bad situation in which everyone didn't really care if he lived or died, and then the other people wanted him to die. So he really was in a bad situation. He probably should have just stayed in Maine.
I also want to. There's one more thing I want to comment on this.
Sure, yep.
And then,
sorry, you said
more questions.
You said 5 or 6 years ago you had your last relationship with women, and that was kind of when it all ended.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then, God, has it really been that long ago?
Yeah.
God, time flies. Huh?
I was like, never again.
Mm-hmm.
This is so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just. It was just like it just doesn't work at all for me. Like, it's not the right fucking thing,
Yeah.
And especially when I became more aware of like for those women, kind of, and I'm not saying I was like hugely popular in that scene either.
Mm-hmm.
There was not a lot of maybe I don't know, maybe being like 7 or 8 women, but near the tail end of it, it started to get so miserable. It actually started to get miserable, and then like the few times they got dragged out over a couple weeks, it became even more miserable. Man. And it was just like
sounds like when I played football in high school. I was just miserable, so I had to quit.
They really, but
yeah.
But yeah, that was just kind of that the last time I was just like never again. Like it's just so wrong. It's just So that's the way I think, It's
so
just
you've been seeing men for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, and then, some even before that.
Okay, but then
because then you always like flirt with the whole like, well, maybe I'm bi type of thing.
Yeah, because you don't know, because it's new to you,
So
the whole culture, and so you.
But honestly, I'm.
Nope. you know where you stand.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to be bi.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're not like Mercury. He's very bi.
Hey, people can do what they want if it makes them comfortable.
He likes.
But for me, and I tell you this much, I would not date a bi person.
No,
fuck that.
This wouldn't work for you.
I'm not saying that's bad.
You don't know where they stand.
But I need somebody who like knows what fucking ground they're standing on.
Fair enough.
Like,
there is,
at least at this point.
Yes.
Maybe, like,
of course.
A couple years from now,
I'm
a little bit more secure, and I could, like, be like, hey, so-and-so doesn't know, maybe they want to try something different, whatever. Okay, that's a couple years from now. I can't deal with that right now.
Yeah.
I need exclusively gay men.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
You don't want to be in that situation like in that season 7 of Curb. When Larry's dating that bi lady who's also dating Rosie O'Donnell. and they're both
funny.
competing.
So funny.
Who's she gonna pick? And then he of course was juicing the Viagra. And it was found out.
Oh yeah, I forgot that
was the
happened.
whole storyline where he gets to the Baseball Hall of Fame and the Viagra falls out of his pocket.
I
She's
don't care what anyone.
You've been juicing this whole time, Larry.
I don't care what anyone says. I think Rosie O'Donnell's really funny.
Oh yeah, I like her.
I've always thought she was very funny.
She is. She's very brash too. She's abrasive, which a lot of people don't like.
How many like all male comedians are that?
Oh, most of them.
But then it gets to Rosie,
I
and
know.
Rosie gets shit on
Yeah.
for doing the same type of humor.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm with you. It's a double standard. That's stupid. She's real funny. She doesn't really.
And she's like works.
She's really funny in those Curb episodes. Like
her career got a little lazy lately, but like basically,
she's got kids. Like
I think she's basically retired anyway.
Yeah.
But
she was on The View for a while.
When she was like really working hard at her career and stuff, she was good.
Yeah,
in everything.
That's great, Betty Rubble. that's like the one role I remember of her quite a bit. Of course, she's in a lot of other stuff, but
I always remember Another Stakeout because I never actually watched Stakeout.
Wait, what?
Another
I've never heard of this
Stakeout.
movie.
It's a sequel
This
to
sounds like
Stakeout.
This sounds like a fake movie that like they would have in a Seinfeld episode.
It's so bad.
Stakeout,
It's such a bad movie.
Sack Lunch.
So Stakeout was
Okay.
this idea they were going to pair Richard Dreyfuss with Emilio Estevez, and they were gonna, I know it's terrible.
What a crazy pairing!
And they were gonna have them like look at a house and stake it out.
Yeah, yeah,
and pick on each other while they
Yeah,
stuck.
yeah.
And
it's like an episode of The Wire, not an entire feature-length film.
And the bad part of the movie was basically that Emilio Estevez had a mustache, and he ruined the movie with his mustache.
I can't even.
This
think
is a
of the
man
way,
who does not look good with a mustache.
I can't even think of the way he would look with a mustache because it's so insane.
And then another Stakeout did the same thing with those two, sans mustache,
Yeah.
with Rosie O'Donnell as the third agent,
Okay.
and Dennis Farina as the mob guy who lives in the house they're trying to bug, and is fucking way better.
Dennis Farina.
I don't
the
care what
mob
anybody
guy, is
says.
perfect.
Another Stakeout's one of the best sequels ever.
Better than the original. That happens sometimes.
Well, I mean, when the original is a piece of garbage, and they end up making another one, and they're like,
Yeah.
they end up making some good choices, actually.
Yeah,
Like,
Batman and Robin's way better than Batman Forever. It's a sequel.
Batman and Robin, which one is... I can't even keep these Batman movies straight
That's the
anymore.
George Clooney one.
There's literally 15 Batman movies.
That's the one with Uma Thurman as Ivy.
Oh,
and
right.
Dr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze. Arnold Schwarzenegger is Freeze.
You know what? That movie
Excellent casting.
could have been good if, like, George Clooney wasn't in it. He kind of, like,
He
drags
wasn't-
the whole thing down
Well,
into a pile of shit.
The story,
Like,
do you forget the storyline with like Chris O'Donnell and
I know it's all bad.
Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl for some reason happens in that movie?
But Clooney, if you're gonna make a bad movie, John,
Yep.
you can't have like an actor who's like so hell bent on being serious,
Yeah.
being Batman. That
Sure.
would have been a good movie for. I don't even know.
I mean,
Who was popular in the late '90s?
ooh. Well, I mean, Clooney's about as popular as you get in the late '90s. So.
But he was so serious. Like he could never do slapstick. He's the worst slapstick actor I've
Yeah.
ever seen in my life.
You know what? How about this? I know they've never had a black Batman. Will Smith would have been perfect for that role.
Yeah, why not?
He's slapstick. He's handsome. He can fight.
Will
He can
Smith
be funny. But they
actually would have been bad for his career, though.
Yes, it would have. Because he went in a different direction with his career.
A good direction.
Yes, a better direction.
Not a,
but
what if like Robert Downey Jr. before
Yeah,
he
Robert Downey
crashed
Jr..
and burned?
Yeah,
He could have done
he's
that.
the right age. But he was in the Hollywood blacklist because he got caught doing cocaine, which is a daily
That's
occurrence
not
now.
why he was on the
No,
blacklist.
okay, fair enough. I'm sure
he was on the blacklist because he was out of control.
Yes. But it didn't stop Val Kilmer from getting roles.
Honestly,
Actually, it did.
Honestly, John,
Now that I think about
there
it.
are people who fuck up so bad in show business that they have to be removed from show business.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Tommy Lee got kicked out of Motley Crue? Do you remember this?
No.
He was
I'm not a huge Crue
removed
head.
from Motley Crue.
Yeah.
That band. They killed people in that band with cars and being drunk.
Yeah.
And then they're like, Tommy Lee, you gotta go. Because he beat up Pam Anderson.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the fucking band couldn't take the publicity hit. They're like, we can't take being hated by everybody. You are making us the most hated band. And if you remember that time period...
To be fair, you're right. Methods of Mayhem was an incredible band.
Well, that's when he got back with it. That's when
Fuck. No, I will say you're right. And also, for Tommy Lee...
So the whole, like...
You can't...
The whole, like, I'm being persecuted, I'm in jail thing is really self-imposed, I think.
You can't be a drummer and do stuff like that. You're the most expendable person in the band as a drummer.
Like how he tries to make his, like, 4/4 drumming beats seem so important when he's just like, ugh, yeah... I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing the Rat guys are doing. Who cares?
Yeah, you just get a guy from Rat. Get
the same guy from Rat.
Yeah, he'll jump ship in no time flat.
Guaranteed he can pull off fucking
he's like,
looks that kill or something.
I'm tired of playing round and round every time.
I'm sure that guy could play Home Sweet Home.
Yeah.
Or the Bon Jovi guy, whoever that is.
Oh, yeah.
He could do that. He's actually better than the Rat. Anyway.
Yeah.
Any more questions, though? Do we?
Oh, boy. I wish I had more, but I think that... I mean, you've basically covered quite a bit of it here. I mean, like... So you're happy that you have supportive friends. That
oh, yeah. I love my friends.
You're living amazing. A good time. You haven't had... At least you're in a good city for this.
Yeah.
Madison's a very, very friendly city.
Well, I'm not complaining at all.
So
the fact,
that's good to hear. How's the shoulder? Still bad?
It's okay. It's getting, I'm going to go for another x-ray in like a month.
This is the fucking thing, Lance. And I've said this. Once you hit 30, you can't get hurt because it doesn't go away. You get injured.
I'm going to have a bad shoulder forever.
I know. Like the stomach ulcer I had, like it's been months and I feel better now, but I still will have I'll eat something, like something I'd eat normally. And it's just like, fuck.
Pizza rolls.
You
have a few pizza rolls.
Can't eat that anymore because it makes my stomach hurt. Like, great. Because like you get to this point or, you get, like I hurt my knee, like just sitting down and it felt bad. And then for like 2 months, my knee hurt, and now it feels fine. But like, didn't break anything.
I mean, I'm also like kind of. That's why, I agree.
This is why you got to work out, because then
I'm telling
stronger.
you, fucking 30 is a fucking ledge.
Yep.
Because
just wait till you get to 40. But then again, you've already fallen so far that you're just like, what's another ledge? I've already fallen off a ledge.
Can barely do anything.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
don't get old, folks. That's my advice. Or if you do get old, be one of those like crazy people that like never age. Like you'll see some sports players.
That's bad advice, John.
No,
you're giving everybody bad advice.
I'm just saying, like you could be like you know
what?
What though? Here's the thing: is that I'm like thinking about like I'm thinking about like LeBron James, who's like 32.
Yeah,
he's playing amazing. I guarantee you, he's playing amazing. He gets home and he feels like shit now. Whereas 10 years ago, he'd be like, let's go play another game. And now he feels like he can't even walk. Probably he has to like do his like cryo chamber and like all this crazy shit that they do now to like stay alive basically between games. Like fuck, because Derrick Rose just recently,
is he retired now? I know it's up in the air.
Up in the air. I think he will. I mean,
I think
like
so.
He's at the point where he's like, Derrick or D. This is fucking sports and nobody likes sports.
Yeah, we should get off this.
But anyway, D Wade was like, I understand where he's at. You know what I mean? Because he's getting old, and if people, what is Derrick Rose famous for? Blowing his knee out multiple times. The guy's been injured his whole career. I think it's the point where it's
I still think the MVP is what he's thought of.
Fair enough. I mean, I remember that.
Then after that is he's like the MVP guy who tore his knee.
And
so that's the second most known thing about him is that he was this great talented player who tore his knee.
Yeah, and he never was the same player. And I think it's just kind of the point where it's like, a season's long. And when you're like not healing quickly.
I will say this. You know that your career's at an end when you are latching onto a LeBron team. This has to be the beginning of the end. When you
Juwan Howard and the Heat team,
he started the trend.
He was like 40, and he's like, well, he wanted a ring, and
Birdman,
yeah,
the that guy with the neck tats.
To be fair to Birdman, he actually legitimately did impact a finals game, so
and
they may have not won a finals game if he wasn't on the roster.
Beating all of those like statutory rape rats.
No,
raps?
Okay, so it wasn't statutory rape; it was child pornography. No, check.
You say that like it makes us.
It's better. Well, because what happened was
it was
a
bullshit.
hacker or someone who was out to discredit him had put files on his computer.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, and he fully cooperated with the police, and they like totally believed him because like the evidence was there that like he had not that they had been put on.
I would love to see that interview where Birdman's like,
"Could you imagine?" Like a cop being like, you got kid porn, and they get your computer, and you're like, I've never seen this before in my life. And that's what everyone
can you
says.
Imagine his like fake.
Oh my god.
His like what? Fuck y'all. And then they're like, sir, Mr. Birdman, these are serious charges.
Mr. Birdman, these are serious charges.
And he's like, fucking kids, fucking no clothes, goddamn.
I don't know if that's the way he talked, but. No.
That's my impression.
I've
never heard him actually talk.
Can I tell you about a real fucked up thing? And I'm going to say this right now. If you are a person who does that, you're a terrible person.
Yeah.
But, so, the Geek Squad, right, at Best Buy, they I think they were sued by people that were caught with child pornography because they had sent their computers into Geek Squad to get them fixed. And they had found the child pornography and alerted the FBI.
Mm-hmm. Pete Townsend.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know.
That's what happened to him.
Okay, but anyway.
Gary Glitter.
And so here's the thing, is that, like, it brings up a really interesting thing, because it's like, okay, these people obviously are bad, because they had that. But also, the Geek Squad, okay, first off, this is what I'm saying. Never if you take your computer in for someone to look at to fix it, know that they will see everything. Because I know IT people, that's it. But in the Best Buy's particular case, the FBI was paying them to find people. So it was literally like, okay, when we get a computer in, we scan everyone. And if we find it, the FBI will give us like money if we turn them in. So it turned into this really, and so that's why they were sued, because it was like, well, the FBI is using citizens now to like do their arresting and stuff. Whereas like they're only allowed to turn people in if they like. So like the idea is that they're only allowed to turn someone in if through their like fixing they happen upon it versus actively seeking it out, because that's like a breach of like ethics, because you can't be
it's basically entrapment.
Exactly, you can't
You're
like
talking about entrapment.
You can't like, well, it's not entrapment because that would be them like
it seems wrong though.
No, it is wrong, because the government shouldn't be able to use private citizens to do
and then when you get
investigative
the other thing,
work for them.
Birdman, fucking people putting those files on there because he's famous, basically.
Yeah, because they wanted to extort money out of him.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and destroy your whole career now.
Yeah,
because so
my advice is never use the internet. Don't go on there.
You're famous and your computer needs work done, throw it in the garbage.
Buy a new computer
and shoot it with guns.
I know.
That's the other thing. From you and me, I could give a shit at all what anybody, as long as people don't plant crazy things on it.
Yeah.
As it is, whatever. But
it's like, well, it's
I have
like
nothing.
It's like with my phone. Like a lot of people like have their phone like password locked and shit, because they're like, I don't want people to see what's on my phone.
I don't know about you at all.
I know about you. I used to have mine password locked because they're like, you gotta have secrets. And it's like, you want to get on my phone? You want to see 1,000 pictures of my cats?
Boom.
Because that's what you're gonna find on my phone.
Yeah,
because that's all I have on there.
My home computer is where I look at porn. Obviously,
yeah, obviously.
What do you think I'm gonna like? Look at this.
Excuse me, I gotta get in the bathroom at the fucking Best Buy for a second to crank one out.
Must
I gotta get on my phone.
I'm not. Also, by the way, I'm just gonna throw this out there.
Yeah.
I'm not like super into porn.
Well,
maybe I'm just like the honeymoon's over. I don't know. I'm getting old now. I'm over 30, John. Yeah. I'm getting old. And I don't want to see like when I look at people and I see them, I'm just like. So, you are not going to reach a kind end.
Here it is.
I know this.
I know this is going poorly for you. But you've been stopped by this man, at a truck stop,
glazed,
this is going to go bad.
I'm not into truckers. I'm telling you that right now.
Sorry. Well, you don't know what I'm into.
That's a good one.
There's these ladies at this truck stop.
I can't look at that many glazed over eyes and like expressions and the whole like dulled like.
So this is an interesting.
And
thing.
also, porn also ruins sex for people because it makes them do it badly. It's not how it should be done.
Yeah, no, I think many people would agree with you on that one. No, but I think the old adage is, Lance, and I think this is maybe what your situation is that you need to get that people say when you get older, it becomes less about the sex and more about the story because you want to know the story behind it, you know, and that becomes more titillating.
Honestly, I've
like a good storyline. Like, why are these two people fucking? I want to know the storyline.
It's not that interesting on these sites.
See, that's the thing. You got to find the good ones.
I've seen better in real life than I have ever on a fucking computer screen.
Well, you got to find some better stuff, man.
What do you mean better?
I don't know.
Why would I pay for that?
Oh no, I'm not saying you pay for it. I'm just saying you got to get your Google skills up.
The free sites are just not that attractive. These people are just not.
I honestly don't know because
both sides of the street. I'm telling you.
Now maybe you would be interested in this, and this is the what is it called? Oh my God, what's it called? It's the gay porn that is the. Oh my God, it's the one where the guy. Oh fuck, I forget the name of it. It's got a specific name, so it's the same premise every time. It's
Lauren had a good laugh over that one.
I don't think she's watching TV, but maybe it was really good.
I was laughing at the TV. I didn't hear what.
Oh, okay.
So good.
Well, it worked out either way.
It was
Lauren.
well timed. So
it was
fuck. Why can't I think of this dang name? And I don't want to search this on my phone because it'll ruin Google for me. But it's okay. So it's always a guy who's meeting a girl. It's like a trap, maybe. No, but that's like shemale thing or transsexual. Sorry, I don't want to use an inappropriate term, but the term it's
where are you going with this?
I'm just trying to say this because I've heard this exists. So it's where like a guy shows up to like meet a girl, right? And they're gonna bang, and the girl's like, "I gotta go," and this guy shows up, and they bang. And
like another guy, a third guy?
No, no. So the guy goes to meet a girl, right? And the girl leaves, and then another guy shows up, and then they like bang. It's like a whole. It's like like cuckolding.
What's funny?
It's like a whole fetish around like having like a straight guy bang a gay guy.
I think I just realized what's so stupid about porn.
What the fuck is the name of this? God damn it! All right,
John.
I can't.
It's called trapping, I think.
I don't think
trapping?
I think it's called trapping.
Shh. All right, I'm gonna Google search.
And if you have lesbians, it's fur trapping, perhaps.
Okay.
But guys have.
Honestly,
it is gay trap. All right, here we go. It's Urban Dictionary. Let's get this right up in here. Not to be confused with trap music, which is a type of Atlanta rap music.
Which I didn't know about.
Trap. This is dumb. Lauren, this isn't true.
Traplanta? Is that what they call it?
No, okay. Let's stop with that. God dang it. Someone, I'm going to ask a listener, please email in what I'm trying to think of.
Now, John, I want to bail you out of this, but I just can't. I don't know what you're talking about.
But what I'm saying, Lance, is that you need to get into that because maybe that's what you've been missing. That story,
yeah, right.
That deep story.
I need a third wheel to cause problems for me. That's what I need.
But wait, of course the I don't know why. It's because I'm on the internet, so I know all these memes. But you know the salad, the gay salad meme.
No.
Okay, so you've never seen this?
No.
So it's like two dudes. And there's this. I don't know why this girl's in it because she's just as obsessive.
Why do you know all about the gay internet that I don't?
I don't know, man. It's because I know about the internet, and it all fucking flows.
You're the one that showed me the ghosty thing that was horrific.
It is horrific, but so anyway, no, not in front of
Never would have watched that if it wasn't for you.
Oh, man, what's it called? Let me see if I can play this over the.
Oh boy.
You've never heard of In Front of My Salad?
I don't know, like these like internet things about like
So right in front of my salad is a Know Your Meme. So it is a quote said after a character in a gay pornographic film after she discovers the two leads are having sex behind a kitchen counter upon which she's eating a bowl of salad. And the quote is literally, "No, right in front of my salad." Like, it's such a hilarious,
funny, actually.
It's actually a hilarious line, because it's just this chick is just fucking serious. Like, seriously, right in front of my salad.
Right. That's funny.
Oh, she's upset that these two men. Let me see if I can play the audio. Hopefully, there's no gay banging in this audio, because that would be too explicit for the podcast. I just want the quote. Oh my god, my phone. Oh, this is muted. Well, it's not going to work because
Don't worry about it.
I
don't need to hear people banging over a salad, John.
Well, I'm just saying, Lance. I'm saying you might not be interested in it, but maybe this is what you're looking for. Two guys enjoying themselves in front of a lady trying to eat a salad. I don't know what the situation was in that porn in which these two men are having sex in front of a woman who is too into her salad to notice what is happening. That she all of a sudden was furious that they're banging in front of her.
If it's French, I'm okay with it. If it's Caesar, I'm not having it.
That's true. The dressing is important. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, I think that's interesting. So maybe you just need to get into. You need to find some new shit, Lance. Is what I'm saying.
That was one of the best tangents of the night, I think.
You need to get a storyline that's good. Like, could you imagine like Game of Thrones but hardcore? You'd probably be way into that. I'd be way into that because then you care about the characters.
Well, it's funny, and I don't know.
It's already kind of there, to be honest.
I know we're nearing the end, but I just want to throw this out there.
Sure.
And something that's kind of jarring to me is that that I can like easily kind of like relate and talk to people.
Yeah.
And so that like kind of makes me in effect like kind of like a little bit more accessible or maybe for lack of a better term popular. You're easy in this to talk type to. Of scene in the gay scene.
Sure.
And that was what was like really jarring to me was like how many friends I have in the gay scene and how woefully unpopular I was at Thanksgiving. And it was literally back to back.
Yeah.
It was just like one day everybody likes you, the next day nobody wants to talk to you.
It's so insane. Like when you say like, and I think that's why when you talk about like people that don't come out, that live that double life, and it's so easy because it's so different. You know what I mean? It's night and day, and they might have similar situations or worse situations than you would have. And it's just like. It just sucks. Like, dude, people need to just accept it, man. I wish that me saying that would make that happen, but it's just one of those things.
I just think that like even though there is the reality of the negative, like you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you have to live your life.
I still don't regret the moves I've made.
Yeah.
As soon as I recovered from my shoulder injury, I did them.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to do, and I would have done them 3 months earlier.
Yeah.
But if anybody else listening, if that's what they're, it's like you can't be too concerned about. You have to be concerned because you actually literally sometimes have to be concerned for your own safety. I've been threatened with bodily harm, like I know places I can't go to now because
it's crazy. Because I had a friend in college who's not gay, but he had a mustache, like they grew for a show. And he went to a bar, and a guy beat him up because he said you're gay, like in a bar, a regular bar. And he's like, you know what I mean? He's not at all, but he just appeared that way. And that's in Madison, like a place that's very accepting. I mean, it's still there, like you said. So I mean, that just sucks.
Yeah, so that is part of it. So, but honestly, like I think you have to, or not. I'm not going to tell anybody what they should do. I'm just happy I did what I did.
Yeah.
And
you're able to share your story.
Right. That's what I'm not going to tell somebody they should do something immediately or do whatever. Everyone's got their own situation. And like I said, I did have a situation where, let me just say this. They didn't look right in my face and say they would beat the shit out of me. Mm-hmm. They loudly said near me, if they didn't want to go back to jail, they'd beat the shit out of me. And this was at a bar that was like very cool to this type of thing. like where there's every night there's. It's not a gay bar, but it's like there's gay guys
Yeah,
there
yeah.
every night.
It's not a bad.
So you do have those situations where it's like, I have to go sit somewhere else, and I hope that they don't they go away, and I don't have to see them again. And then the next time you go back, then ultimately, it's just like one of those things where that's like something I never had to deal with before. It's something I've had to deal with recently.
When someone says something like that, though, it's like such a self-own. Like, oh, I don't want to go back to prison, so I'm not going to beat you up. Like, okay, so your life is awful. You're admitting to how terrible your life is and how terrible you are. And so terrible to the point where you would like to do something, but you can't because you are afraid of the consequences. So, I don't know.
That's true.
I hate people that say shit like that. It's like... It's
just pure intimidation.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just stupid. I mean, it's being a bully. It's fucking dumb. Anyway, so... That's Lance's wisdom.
That's the whole
for
thing.
This week.
That's the whole.
Live your life.
And then, Justice League was sucky. So
I don't know if we got time to talk about that.
No, I just thought I'd try to end it on a
review
note that isn't like people beating up gay people.
Yeah, that's not a good note to end on. So
that didn't happen though. So that's a happy ending.
That's good.
It didn't actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think it would happen, but they were creepy.
Yeah.
And Ben Affleck broke my heart.
He's not good?
He was so good in the last one, and then this one, he just wants to kill the movie the whole time. Anyway, we got to go hang out with your girlfriend, or your fiance. Fiance.
Oh,
Lauren.
snap.
We only got 4 more months before the marriage takes
6
place.
months.
6 months.
To the day, a week ago. So
we have to go hang out with Lauren. So
yep.
Goodbye.
Yep.
Have a nice night.
Thank you for listening. We will catch you next week. What are you looking at? The beautiful posters?
Wondering how abruptly you will change those posters once they find Jonathan Taylor Thomas in a hotel.
As what?
Being dead when that happens.
Oh, fuck no. He dies. He dies a hero.
Oh, you think he's over the curve?
Huh?
The child actor curve or hump?
What do you mean?
He's safe now?
I don't know what you mean.
Like all these child actors, and Brad Renfro, dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's an adult
like,
now, so if he died, it would just be like, yeah, an adult died.
But then you have to take the posters down.
No.
I think you do.
Why?
It's morbid.
Wait, why is it morbid? Is it not morbid for Brad Renfro to be dead and we have it up?
Well, he was like the other actor of that movie.
Right.
I don't know if I count him. Nobody ever thought about him in that movie.
Yeah.
It's all JTT.
Can you move that mic a little bit closer to you?
Here, I'll scoot up.
Or you can move it a little closer to the edge there, too.
Should I put my headphones on?
Yep.
Kind of see how this sounds?
Yep.
Okay. There, that'll give me a little bit better idea.
Yep. Yeah, don't hit that.
I'm just... No, that's the right position.
Yeah, that's right. But the mic... What's going on here with this? Okay, it's fixed, whatever it was. It was just something bumping against that, making a lot of noise.
Oh, it was just when we were moving things.
Yeah.
Nothing big.
Well, it shouldn't make any noise because it's on a fucking... You
always have to do this thing with your glasses where you put them above your ears with the headphones on because they push it into your head.
No.
You don't have that issue?
No.
I always have to wear them like this when I have headphones on.
I don't have that problem.
All right.
Sounds like you're a fucking freak.
Sounds like I'm crazy.
A freak on a leash. Is what Korn would say.
There was a tune.
Yeah. All right. I'm John. This is my talking voice. Lance, can you go?
Yes. Freak on a Leash. Great tune.
Right.
Great music video.
It's number 7. All right. I'm just going to make a big, long pause.